This plant is Vinca minor. It's a very popular evergreen ground cover. I like this plant because it is very durable. It's tolerant of a lot of situations. You can use it around children and animals. They can walk through it. You can walk through it. It's not going to hurt the plant. And so it's fairly low care, and especially if you put it in the right spots. So the right spot in most cases is kind of part shade. I've got this in some full sun and it does handle that situation, but I'd tell you that it's certainly happier where you see it here. It's under a rose, a shrub rose, and it's under, it's got afternoon shade by a crepe myrtle. So again, what I like about it is just durability and reliability when it's put in the right spot. The challenge with it is like many ground covers, controlling where it goes and how it behaves. And I don't like using this. This is a good example actually. You see this chrysanthemum. This Vinca has worked its way into this smaller plant, and that's really a good example of how not to use it. You know, I test a lot of things in my garden, so I don't always have the best example of what to do or not to do, but this is what I found is smaller plants. I would say if the plant doesn't get bigger than 18 inches high, you probably don't want to be putting Vinca right up next to it, because over time the Vinca will work it over pretty good. And if you've got a plant that's sensitive, got a sensitive root system, the Vinca will probably get in and strangle it out over time if it's not a very vigorous plant itself. So consider that when you're thinking about using this. This is usually planted from flats, although I recommend 1-gallon containers, and here's why. You'll get a fairly high loss rate if you use flats. If you use a plant that's well rooted, like a 1-gallon container, we get virtually no losses. This is a very hardy plant and fast growing once it's 2 to 3 years old. And when you buy a 1-gallon container, you are getting a plant of that age, and it's such a difference. I don't waste my clients' money on anything smaller than a 1-gallon container. We plant those about 30 inches on center, typically 30 inches to 3 feet, and you'll get a good infill rate with that type of spacing. The other nice benefit is the purple blue flower in the spring is usually when that occurs, and that's where the periwinkle name comes from, is it's that color that's a nice deep purple. Although you will see different flower colors for this, you can actually get white as well. So that's what I can tell you about Vinca minor. Oh, also, the deer leave this plant alone, so this is a fairly reliable. I've never had issues where they would eat this, so I'd say it's pretty safe with deer, and I would not consider this drought tolerant. Once it's established, you can really cut the water back, but it's way better looking and happier when it's got regular garden water. So if you're going to want this to do its best, give it some regular water. As you know, if it's in shade and it's established, you can certainly trim the water back considerably, but don't try that when it's a young plant. It doesn't have a very deep root system, and it won't like it, especially in full sun. If you're going to use this in full sun, preferably you're near the coast and you're not in a hot inland valley. If you're going to use this in full sun in a hot inland valley, you just need to make sure you give it enough water to deal with that situation. And that is Vinca minor.